Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is LuckyBunz, and in today's Pokemon Go video, we're going to be talking about Sylveon, its role in the meta, and of course, how to evolve it. That being said, as always, if you guys do end up enjoying this video, if you do find it helpful, please make sure to smash that like button down below. It would help me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to see more of these Pokemon Go videos in the future, I would definitely consider hitting that subscribe button as well. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to be talking about in this video is going to be how to evolve Sylveon in Pokemon Go. So there are going to be two ways to evolve Sylveon. Of course, the first way is going to be to use the name trick. You can only use this once though, and you're going to go ahead and type in the name Kira. That's going to be K-I-R-A, as you guys can see on screen. And so, like I said, you can only use this trick once, but it is going to guarantee you to get a Sylveon in Pokemon Go. Now, of course, because you can only do this once, so I'm sure many of you are probably wondering how to evolve Sylveon without using the name trick. So the second way to evolve Sylveon is going to be to have Eevee get 70 hearts as your buddy. So you need to accumulate 70 hearts starting from May 25th onward. So this unfortunately means that if you ended up getting to best buddy status with your Eevee before May 25th, you can't actually use those buddy interactions to evolve it into Sylveon. I'm not really sure what was the purpose behind this on Niantic's part, but this is just the way they decided to implement it. So like I previously mentioned, May 25th onward, you have to accumulate 70 hearts with Eevee as your buddy. So you're gonna have to keep track of this manually, but the best way to tell if you've actually accumulated enough hearts is going to be to look for the silhouette of Sylveon in the bottom screen when you go to evolve Eevee. So now that you know how to evolve Eevee into Sylveon, let's go ahead and talk about its role in the meta, both in raids and in PvP. First off though, let's go ahead and take a look at the base stats for Sylveon along with its move pool. So Sylveon has really well balanced base stats in my opinion. It has an attack stat of 203, a defense stat of 205, and a stamina stat of 216, meaning that it is going to have excellent TDO, total damage output. Sylveon has access to two fast moves, Quick Attack and Charm, Charm obviously being the ideal choice because it is a fairy type move, and of course it is going to benefit from Sylveon Stab, same type attack bonus. Now additionally for the charge moves you have Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, and Draining Kiss, with the exclusive legacy move, Last Resort, being available through Elite TMs. That being said though, I think this is an excellent time to transition over to PvPoke and take a look at Sylveon's role in the Great League, Ultra League, and Master League metas. So of course Sylveon is going to be a charmer in the PvP meta. Basically what this means for those of you who don't play PvP or do go Battle League, it's just going to focus on fast move play for the most part. And ideally you want to have Moonblast and Last Resort on Sylveon as your charge moves. You're most likely only going to be able to get one of them off. Maybe you could get two Last Resorts off, but probably not, considering that both of these moves do take a considerable amount of energy gain. So Moonblast is going to function like a nuke, kind of just like a really hard hitter, and then Last Resort kind of provides you with that extra coverage in case you're going up against something that maybe resists fairy type moves. So overall in the Great League we can see that Sylveon ranks at 113, so this isn't terrible. It definitely does have some viable play, but if you compare it to some of the other charmers in Great League like Wigglytuff, Alolan Ninetales, they rank considerably higher. And that is definitely something to consider, but that doesn't mean that Sylveon is not going to have play in the Great League. What that really just means is that you might want to pair it with Wigglytuff or Alolan Ninetales if you're going for a double charm lineup, or you could potentially just use Sylveon by itself combined with a different lineup. I'm not really sure where it would benefit more compared to Wigglytuff or Alolan Ninetales. The reason why Alolan Ninetales and Wigglytuff are so good is because of their charge moves. So Wigglytuff is going to have access to Ice Beam and Play Rough, and then Alolan Ninetales is going to have access to the Ice Weather Ball plus Dazzling Gleam or Psychic. So both of those movesets are really good and give it a lot more coverage compared to Sylveon only having access to Moonblast or Last Resort. So that's mainly the reason you want to probably go with those options over Sylveon, but if you're kind of doing a combination where you're running Wigglytuff or Alolan Ninetales and then you want to have Sylveon as a second charmer in your lineup, I can definitely see that working out a lot better, in my opinion, opposed to maybe just using Sylveon as a standalone fairy type in your lineup, opposed to Wigglytuff or Alolan Ninetales. As I previously mentioned earlier, Last Resort is going to be something that you do have to Elite TM though on Sylveon here, so you do have to make that decision whether or not it's going to be worth it. And at the current time, I can't honestly say that it is worth the Elite TM. I think you definitely have a lot of better options out there. But that being said, you know, if you're buying those community day boxes every single month and you have a bunch of Elite TMs, maybe this is something that you want to invest into, as Sylveon with Last Resort is only accessible via Elite TM right now, so that's definitely something to consider. We may get it at the end of the year with our December community day, but we don't know for sure. That's not guaranteed. So all in all, I definitely can't say for sure if Sylveon is going to be a viable Pokemon to use in Great League. It definitely does have a pretty solid ranking though in the overall meta. I think it really just comes down to how you use it though. Now interestingly enough, in the Ultra League meta, even though Alolan Ninetales ranks as one of the best fairy types, it doesn't actually run Charm, at least not in an ideal situation. Ideally, Alolan Ninetales is going to have Powder Snow, Weather Ball, and Dazzling Gleam, so it's not going to be focusing on the Charm moveset. Instead, your number one option is actually going to be Clefable Extra Large, with Charm, Moonblast, and Meteor Mash. So Sylveon, honestly, in my opinion, could have more play in the Ultra League compared to the Great League, but both of the leagues honestly seem pretty viable for it. As we move on over to Master League, there isn't really much play for Sylveon. Again, you know, ideally in Master League, you just want to go for the best of the best, 100% IV, maxed out, best buddy, and Togekiss really just takes the cake on this one, guys. It has better DPS, it has better DPS times TDO, it has access to Ancient Power, which could potentially give you the boost and could definitely turn matches. Additionally, on top of that, it does cover a lot of the meta, and you're going to want to have that bulk, especially in the Master League. So Sylveon really doesn't have any place in the Master League meta, in my opinion, but Great League and Ultra League definitely do seem like viable positions for it. Once again, you know, you will have to Elite TM to get Last Resort, so whether or not that is going to be worth it to you, take this information and kind of make that decision for yourself. At the current time of filming this video, I wouldn't recommend investing into anything right now. I would wait and see what people do in the future, look for some videos from PvP YouTubers, and kind of make a good assumption after that. That being said though, let's go and take a look at Sylveon in the Raid/Gym meta now. So Sylveon in the Raid/Gym meta is going to ideally have Charm and Dazzling Gleam. That's going to be your best moveset to go with. You don't want to go with Moonblast, you want to go with Dazzling Gleam, and Draining Kiss is just a worse version of Dazzling Gleam. So yeah, now unfortunately compared to the rest of the Fairy type meta in Pokemon Go, Togekiss and Gardevoir are actually going to have better DPS than Sylveon, and they're also going to have better DPS times TDO. So Sylveon doesn't really benefit from anything, unfortunately, just due to its lower attack stat. It does have really well balanced stats, which honestly helps out a lot with its TDO, but when you factor in DPS times TDO, it still doesn't really come close to Togekiss or Gardevoir. Both of those Pokemon are about 300 to 400 points above Sylveon in the Raid/Gym meta. So of course we come down to the most important question of this video: is Sylveon worth investing Stardust into in Pokemon Go? And the answer is yes and no. So despite Sylveon not coming close in terms of DPS times TDO compared to Gardevoir and Togekiss, Sylveon still ranks as a pretty good fairy type attacker in the game. Again, it's in the number 3 spot if you don't include Megas or Shadow versions, and guys, that's honestly really good in my opinion, especially considering that it only costs 25 candy to evolve Sylveon. Now of course you also have the 70 hearts that you have to accumulate with Eevee as your buddy, so that is a little bit steep in that regard. It's going to take you about 4 to 7 days of interaction if you are doing it effectively, but really when you compare it to the difficulty of obtaining Ralts candy or Togepi candy, I would say that is honestly a lot more accessible compared to those two. So again, it really comes down to whether or not you have a lot of fairy type attackers in the game. You know, if you don't have access to a bunch of Gardevoir or Togekiss, then Sylveon is probably going to be a good Pokemon to have in your team. At least a few of them for the time being, until you actually accumulate some more Gardevoir and some more Togekiss. And again, guys, number 3 spot's not bad. It definitely has some great bulk. It's going to stay in the battles for quite some time. Great moveset in my opinion, and other than that, you know, when I evolved my shiny Lucky Eevee today into Sylveon, I'm happy with the one that I have. I already have a bunch of Gardevoir and Togekiss, so, you know, from my perspective, I don't really need to evolve more than just this one. But again, I maxed it out instantly. Sylveon is such a beautiful shiny in the game, and I'm honestly very excited to use it in gyms as well as raids, and hopefully build one that is going to be good for PvP in the future, but that might not be for some time. And again, I might just wait to see if we can get Last Resort without having to use an Elite TM. With that being said though, I think that's basically everything I needed to cover in this video. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more of these videos in the future, and I will see you all real soon in the next one.